Hello and welcome to Fat Brain, Thin Brain with me, Lewis, aka Fat Guy Walks. And over in Denmark, you've got Natasha. Hey, Natasha.
Hey, how are you
How
doing?
goes it? My trusty sidekick. How is it today?
Sunny.
Let's talk about agenda. What's on the agenda today, Natasha?
We are going to be discussing lockdown because it's shaking the UK.
Yes, yeah. And where are we going to go with it?
We are specifically going to be talking about you because it's
Me, that's
you. It's
right.
all about you.
All about me.
All about you.
Lockdown.
So the agenda today will be to literally talk about the difference between the first time there was lockdown and now this second lockdown, how it differs for you, your mindset, your goals, anything that was disastrous the first time that you want to avoid the second time.
Yes.
Sounds like a good
come
thing.
straight back and listen to what we're going to say, and we'll have a right old. I've stuck for words.
Be strong.
Hey guys, it's Lewis, aka Fat Guy Walks, and Natasha, aka Lloyd Vest, all the way over there in Denmark. And today's topic of choice is going to be the dreaded lockdown 2.0. So, today we're going to talk about how the first lockdown in the UK affected me versus this time round as well. So, Natasha, you had a lockdown over in Denmark, didn't you? But it was way earlier than ours, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was February. We had ours end of February.
And how did that affect you?
Well, I've got a very different life to you, right? So I have two children, so I had to essentially become a home teacher, which was a nightmare.
Of course, yeah, you have to school in and all that sort of stuff.
So I had to homeschool the kids, and I think what made that difficult was because we had to follow the teacher's agenda still. So they would send us stuff that we had to print out and then give to the kids, and then take pictures and send that back in the app. Headache. But otherwise, no different for me because I work from home anyway because I'm a freelance photographer.
Oh yeah, of course you do as well.
Home office.
Our lockdown, I think it's about 12 weeks last time, and I struggled. I struggled big time. As you know, I live on my own. I have a girlfriend, but she's only around a few times, but it was prohibited. So you couldn't have people coming from another household into yours during the strict regime of the first lockdown. Luckily, that's not happening this time round, but the first time round, it was a lot of lonely days. And you know what lonely days lead to when you have a fat brain? Food. So I'd be consciously thinking about where I was, what I had in the cupboard, that sort of stuff every 5 minutes. And when I could get the chance to go out to do essential shopping, it would be like crisps, drinks, that sort of stuff as well. And I'd been at a slimming class, shall we say, for a month before this happened as well. So I was getting into the right mind frame of it all, and then all of a sudden it's taken away. So that little bit of help you had is completely gone. So as you can imagine, the 12 weeks were long and hard.
I had my family home, right? So it didn't really.
You had the family.
I still had my husband and my two children. Yeah.
So you had it easier, and obviously you've got a thin brain anyway. So if there was stuff to do, you've got outside space, be in the garden and that sort of stuff as well, haven't you? So your thin brain
I do have a garden.
About you. She has a garden. So that's the great thing about having the outside space for you, isn't it? You've got the garden, you can get out and about. The kids can still roam about in the garden, do the things.
Yeah, and we said many times, like every time the kids, because when we would take a break between schooling hours, because I had to literally set up a whole schedule each day of what we were learning when. I allowed for breaks, just like at school.
Yeah, like you would at school.
And the kids, we would put their coats on and go, right, get outside and go play and crash around in the garden. And my husband and I used to always say, like, thank God we had the garden, because otherwise it would be a nightmare, right?
You'd lose your mind, wouldn't you? That's the thing. So obviously the government over here did mention that you can go out for an hour at a time for exercise. But to me, with a fat brain, it's like, what am I going to do in an hour? That's just stupid. I may as well just eat donuts and crisps and whatever here. So I didn't do what I should have done. I used to get out for a couple of bike rides, but I just wasn't feeling it and all that sort of stuff as well. So if only I'd taken that initiative back then to actually start walking. we would be in a totally different place now, wouldn't we?
So the first time round, so literally just being told you can't go out except for 1 hour every day, what did that do to you? Not just mentally, but, you know, like that whole feeling, did you feel like it got you down more because you couldn't go out? Yeah. Okay.
So it's the weird thing, isn't it? As soon as someone tells you you can't do something, you automatically want to do it, don't you? So if someone says to me, you're on a 24-hour fast for a blood test, so you can't eat from X time till X time, you go,
all you can think about is food.
Or then you think about it's food and all that sort of stuff. But you know yourself, you can go overnight most nights without eating. I'm fat, but I don't wake up in the night and go, whoa, I'm going to have loads of food. So that's the thing. So it was that mentality kicked in, and I didn't like it. Someone telling me I couldn't do something. And obviously I've got an elderly mum that's on her own as well. So I was trying to, look after her well-being as well as my own mental health as well, which is tough.
But you didn't go and did you go and see her, or you didn't?
Because I used to go once a week.
Okay.
Yeah, we were allowed to do essential travel, and that she was classed, because she was on the vulnerability list, that was classed as essential travel. So that was great as well. So and stupidly enough, back then you could, even if it was the height of the pandemic, you could get on the packed bus with no mask or nothing like that, and then travel up to it's ridiculous. And now it's masks everywhere. I mean, even the local shops over here, the Tesco's, the Asda's, and the them sort of supermarkets, they're all doing their adverts now, and the customers in them are all masked up now, and it's like touching elbows at the cashier.
I don't get this elbow thing, because they tell you to cough into your elbow and not your hand. So now what we're doing, we've replaced the hand with the elbow, so we're coughing into our elbows, and then we're touching elbows, which to me seems a little bit counterintuitive. That surely just keep coughing into your hand, but touch with elbow, or cough into elbow, touch with hand, like fist bump. I like fist bumps actually.
Fist bumping, that's good. So fist bump it is, bosh. Not in their faces though. So and it was for me as well, when I did go out to do the essential shops and stuff like that, it was the look on people's faces. No mask at that point. It was like the look of dread when they saw another human, and that was just alien to me.
Really?
Me being who I am, and I'm very much hello. I'm a hugger. I like to greet people in the right way and all that sort of stuff. You couldn't do it because people looked scared of you, because of what was going on, and it was just surreal. And the shops were surreal, queuing and all that sort of stuff. But as it gradually went on, I noticed my weight was going back up again. I had lost a bit of weight at the slimming group.
Did you feel concerned going into lockdown that you would start wanting to eat more because of boredom?
Yeah, that I didn't have that crutch to rely on as well. And obviously Lindsay was a massive help to me with regards to what I was eating as well. And we both started at the same time. And
Lindsay is who, just for our listeners?
Lindsay's my beautiful girlfriend of 7 years.
There we go.
And she's one of these vegans, and she's doing really well.
Hang on, I'll just stop you there. What did you just say? One of these vegans?
One of these mega amazing vegans, as I said. I did say mega amazing vegans.
It was the way you said one of these vegans, like, oh God. Yeah. They're everywhere.
So for her, the slimming group wasn't working because there was no information about vegan cuisines to build and that sort of stuff, and other things along the lines that would help her out. So, she carried on doing the virtual groups, but for me, I still want to be part of that. So even though it was a weekly interaction with someone else, I just didn't fancy it at all. It only came to around halfway through that a friend of mine on Facebook asked if I wanted to do a virtual quiz with them, a quiz night. And I was like, not the sort of normal thing I'd do. And I was like, yeah, go on, I'll try, like that. And then went on and we've done these weekly quizzes, and it's brilliant. There's laughter and all that sort of stuff. It kind of changed the way I started thinking about laughter being a good medicine and all that sort of stuff for the depression. And when I started thinking about that and putting something on when I woke up early that would make me laugh straight away, that was the catalyst for me to start thinking, right.
So your routine now that you adopted since then was to put something funny on in the morning to lift your spirits? Okay.
Instead of the doom and gloom that we have and stuff. And it was like, it worked. It definitely worked. And then the way I was day to day with people, interacting with Lindsay, because towards lockdown it started easing, so the restrictions started easing, but we were still locked down. So you could mix households and stuff like that. So it was getting better towards the end, to the point where I thought to myself, I've done this, and it was only like weeks away from finishing. But in the middle, at the beginning, oh my god, it was just horrible. It was horrible. The only way I could think of it is, so a fat guy like me sat in a room, like a party room, full up with food and all this other stuff, but you were handcuffed to a chair on your own. You couldn't do anything about it. You couldn't eat that food because you knew you was going to put on loads of weight. I did put on weight, but not as much as I thought I would have done. But it was just the lowness of the mood. And that, for me, as you well know, Natasha, when I do get low, I do go straight to the cupboard, straight to the fridge, and straight away. So that's one of the things we wanted to talk about on lockdown, is the differences between last time and this time.
So first time, essentially, it was doom and gloom. You didn't go out for your hour walk every day.
Even though you could, yeah.
Yeah. You started a little bit of comfort eating or boredom eating.
Boredom eating, comfort eating, and just being a tool, should we say.
Okay.
And then obviously I got introduced. I found walking, as you know. And
because at this point, actually, let's also tie this up with the fact that at this point, right? So what I was doing when I heard, you can't go, it wasn't that you can't go out. We weren't actually restricted on the amount of time you could be outside. There was no restriction.
Cool.
On that. It was about if you could be outside, but you've got to keep distance from other people and try not to go, like you couldn't take, your kids shopping or stuff like that. And we could go, obviously, first of all the shops were shut down, and it was all kind of takeaway stuff, shopping online, which was fine because we shop online anyway. But there was no restriction of you could go out. And me being an outdoor photographer, I was like, great, doesn't affect me at all then. So actually what I did was, because I was going a little bit insane with being a teacher, I said to my husband, I need to maybe on Fridays do that, you take over the teaching and I need to go off and be outdoors and overnight. Because it's also coming up, it's springtime, things were getting nice. And I started taking on a photography project to keep me outside as much as possible, where I started hiking the pilgrim route in Denmark. And I think that's then when you started kind of really connecting with me again, because you saw me doing my pilgrim routes on Instagram.
Oh, it's amazing, yeah.
And then,
fantastic.
And then I think then we started chatting again. Well, we didn't start chatting until I was really into it. And then I think you kind of saw me doing overnighting, and people were always writing to me like,
that's right,
how are you outside? How are you doing all this? I'm like, well, there's no one around me. I'm on my own. No. Or I had one other person with me, and it's just a friend. So it's not like we're snogging and touching and, passing anything on. And we're outside, we're sleeping in our own hammocks away from each other.
Exactly. It was idyllic, wasn't it? So.
And I needed that. If I don't go outside at least once a week, I go stir crazy. So I needed that.
Yeah. But when you are on a downtime and you haven't got stuff to do, you don't think the way I do you? When I have downtime and I've got nothing to do, I then think, food.
Yeah, I've got to say, my eating, I probably snacked more when we were really shut down. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Because also having the kids home and being a mum, I mean, probably mums can relate to this. You'll be making something for the kids and you'll just shove a little bit of it, in your mouth.
Yeah.
And I've got a thing that if I'm doing some fruit for the kids or anything, it just, a little piece will go in, and then I think I've eaten fruit all day, even though it's like one segment of clementine. It's ridiculous.
That's it.
Like, that's my fruit for the day. No, Tash, you ate one tiny little segment. So I definitely snacked more. I think we bought more packets of crisp during that period.
You said crisp, yay! Not chips.
Not chips.
Yeah. So you touched on something then as well. You mentioned takeaway. That was one of the things that was still left open. There's meant to be essential shops, but we could still get takeaways from places. And of course, that made a lot of people in the UK think, oh, I'm not going to cook tonight. I'll get something ordered in. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then you're in a massive pit of doom again, aren't you? You know, you've got all these things that come to your house, and it's like, that's not really good, is it? It's not clever.
Yeah, because all these restaurants, right? They had to find a way to stay.
They had to find an income, revenue.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're a new restaurant and you're on your knees, you don't want this sort of thing to happen, do you? So you want to be still trading and doing some sort of meals and stuff.
As locals to those restaurants don't want them to close, so we are trying to buy food from them.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to keep local and support local businesses. Of course you do. But it seemed to me like it was we were catered for everything that was naughty and nothing that was good. So we could only have that hour of exercise, which now looking at it would have done a fair few steps for me in an hour. And I should have embraced it more. But then all I could think about is not fair. If you want to exercise, you can't. But if you want to eat loads of fatty food, you can whenever you want to do it. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah, that's a bad concoction.
Yeah, it's a bad mix. It's a toxic mix to have in that sort of time frame, isn't it? So I just didn't find it helpful at all. So this time round, though, it's completely different. So you haven't got a lockdown in Denmark this time, have you? Your government has done it better than us. You've probably got loads less cases than us and all that sort of stuff.
We've had more restrictions put in, which means we have to wear face masks everywhere we go. Well, buses and any public transport, we've had to wear face masks from day one.
From the get-go, which we didn't
in the very beginning, and then they realized the mistake and then they kind of enforced it. But now we have to have a face mask on even if we're going in the shops. So as soon as we go into an enclosed area, we got to have face masks on. But nothing else is changing at this point. And we're not allowed to have parties. Like, we could have like one person come over if we want or something. But we can't have like a collection of 10 people or something like that.
So you can't have a kid's birthday party or anything like that at all?
We can do a kid's, actually. My son went to a child's birthday party yesterday, but instead of inviting the whole class, they just invited only the boys to keep the numbers down.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then they kept it outside as well.
That's good as well. Yeah, that's good. But touching back on lockdown number one, obviously all the pubs and restaurants were shut. And so the pubs, there's been a massive decline in pubs and stuff over here. In Denmark, was it the same? Were all restaurants and alcoholic beverages places shut?
Everywhere, yeah. We had a period where everything just shut down and it became ghost town. And then obviously restaurants started doing you can't eat here, so just order your food and we'll deliver it. There was a lot of free delivery. We'll deliver free if you just order your food.
Oh, wow.
Which was fantastic, because then actually shortly after lockdown, I had my birthday, my son had his, my eldest son had his birthday. We literally go a month. Yeah, March, April, May, June, we have all 4 of our birthdays. So it was slowly getting that we could have more and more people turning up to our birthdays. I had no one, because not only am I English living in Denmark, so no one could fly over to me. But I couldn't have I couldn't do anything with my friends that I did have here. So what I did was, with my climbing buddies, I set a challenge for the day where we have a WhatsApp group for the climbers, and I did like a climbing challenge, like show me all the weird routes that you can make in your house. So I was doing like climbing my dining table, like climbing around under it, and climbing across my wardrobe, and my sons were loving it because they were like, awesome, we can use the house as a climbing gym.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, so they're climbing all the kitchen surfaces, going into the living rooms, finding stuff that they can do. And I set that
finding where you put all the sweets and snacks,
yeah. And so my climbing friends did the same. They were just trying to find places, and
of course,
one of the guys, he lives in an apartment with someone else. He's like, I really don't have anywhere to climb. This is the only place. And he went out on his balcony. He had this little tiny and he was just like climbing on the inside of the balcony, on the safe side.
Safe. Yeah.
But just going around the edge. So it was quite funny.
As an outdoor person and a photographer, though, were you not inclined to think, wow, like Copenhagen's completely empty, a ghost town? It would have been amazing in the light you had as well to take pictures and stuff, wouldn't it? So that must have been quite torture for you.
there was a lot of people, photographers in Copenhagen that were doing kind of drone work, like shots of completely quiet Copenhagen streets, you know, sunrise, it's just all dead. No one around, sunset, no one around. So there were, if you lived in Copenhagen, there was a lot of Copenhagen photographers just getting out on the street and taking pictures. So like, it never looks like this, right? It looks amazing.
No, that's it.
But for me, I was a bit like, well, I don't really want to drive, because I actually live like 30, 40 minutes away from the center of Copenhagen. So it means I've got to jump in my car and drive in there, and I
to be honest, that's it. That's a bit of a trek for you, isn't it? We would have got told off here if we went to a car and it wasn't essential travel. We would actually got told off.
We could get in our cars.
Yeah, they were stopping people and all that sort of stuff as well. So my sister's boyfriend got stopped. He was just going to get cigarettes, but it's a late night garage, which is a bit far from his house, and he got fined £30. So, you know,
expensive. We had none of that.
Cigarette. Yeah.
We had none of
that. Going back to it as
well.
Going
in the second time.
Yeah.
So the second time round, how do you feel now? Like now that if you're told you've got 1 hour, you can go outside.
I know I can do 11,000 steps in that 1 hour.
Yeah. Now your mind is
difference now.
What can I get done in that hour instead of I can't be bothered, an hour's not enough for me to do anything.
Exactly. So that hour every day would then be I can let's see how many steps I can do in that first hour, and then the next day is let's see if I can beat it. And then it'll just be personal challenges all the way through the 4 weeks. We've only got 4 weeks this time. I think we've got unlimited exercise this time. I'd have to go back to that one. I know it's definitely not an hour this time, but if it was, then I would set myself up these goals to try and get. This is the big difference from last time. The goal was different for me. Is just mentally different.
The first time you didn't have goals, and this time
nothing.
You have.
I had no passion for anything. All I really cared about was, you know, where I can get my next cherry Coke from, or, you know, any other fizzy pop that's available out there. But this time it's completely different. I've got meals ready already as well. As you know, I love jacket potatoes at the moment. So I've got loads of jacket potatoes. Natasha's trying to get me onto sweet potatoes, which are better and bigger, but I'm not too sure about them just yet. I might try some.
It wasn't about the bigness, the size.
No, it's about that taste difference, wasn't it?
It was more about the content,
So this is one of the things that is different this time. Now, I've noticed when I woke up this morning as well on my Instagram feed, mainly Instagram, not so much Facebook, that a lot of people, because it's the cusp of going into lockdown, we go in midnight tonight. A lot of people are automatically saying, well, that's it then. I'm going to put on weight now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to balloon up just before Christmas for the 4 weeks. Why are you automatically thinking that? Why aren't you saying, right, okay, yes, we've got 4 weeks of lockdown. The kids are allowed to go to school still. So there'll still be that travel to and from school. So there's still that set up if you have kids and stuff. Uni students are still allowed to go to school, that sort of stuff as well. So there is a little bit more life about. Why don't you take the time to, when the kids finish, that last hour and a half of sunlight, take them out for a nice walk, and before a dinner or something like that. There's loads of things you can be getting on with, rather than saying, oh my God, I'm going to put on weight now. This is
we noticed, me and my husband used to talk about through the first lockdown, how there was two types of people with lockdown. You had the people that went, oh, sod it, I'm just going to be a slob, basically sit around, eat stuff, not worry about myself, and take care of myself, and just kind of get through it, because this is a disaster time, I can't handle it. So basically there was the ones that just sat around and ate, and then you had the super fit ones who went like nuts on, well, now I've got loads of time to work out. So every day they're getting up and they're doing like hit sessions or yoga or going for a run or something, because now suddenly they've got all this time. What to do with it? Well, then what they did was used it to get themselves fit. And you could tell when the gyms opened back up again, like for me, I'm a climber, so when I went back to the climbing gym, it was really hard to get back into climbing again, because you physically have stopped training this grip strength. So you can feel like you can't grip the holds as well. And everyone was getting that. But you could tell the ones that kept up strength training. Because there were people that were like, oh yeah, I've got a little bit bigger here, you know, I haven't been doing my sit-ups and I haven't been doing my press-ups. And then you got the ones that came in who were super buff. You're like, what have you been doing for the last few months? Yeah, I've been working out every single day because there's nothing else to do. Yeah, okay. So it was
perfect. That's the thing again. So the way we looked at it, you said you got the two types of people. Maybe them two types of people have a fat brain, thin brain. That's the same way as we look at that, isn't it, as well? So the one thing I liked from lockdown last time was the amount of people, because we had beautiful weather as well throughout it. And, you know, it was hard not to congregate on the areas of, you know, the beach by me and the common and all that sort of stuff. And but they were respecting that. They were doing well. But it's lovely to see families out on their bikes and stuff. They shut the whole of the seafront off. So the road that runs all the way along the seafront, that's all shut off. And that was just for exercising. And it was brilliant. The amount of people that you saw exercising, families out together, getting fresh air, that sort of stuff. Boom. The cycle industry itself just rocketed because everyone wanted a new bike. Everyone wanted their old bikes repaired and stuff. So it was great. And it did get a lot of people thinking, over here, Joe Wicks is a personal trainer and he's huge all over the world now. And he used to do a PE session for the kids in the morning.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. Yeah, from some of my friends.
Absolutely amazing. And the money he made from it, from advertising and all that sort of stuff, he gave all back to the NHS as well. So he raised over like £500,000 for the NHS.
Old Joe.
It's fantastic. So people were doing that. The thin brain people were doing that. And you could see the clear difference in between the thin brain people and the fat brain people. The fat brain ones wouldn't get dressed. And they were happy just to sit down, watch films like I used to. Netflix. More than happy to sit down, watch films and just like chill out and stuff. And that is the thing that this time round, I can't sit still for long. And that's flipping brilliant. I've already planned what I'm doing this evening, walk-wise. It's cold over here, but it's beautiful sunshine out there. So I'm going to try and get a decent sunset tonight, take some pictures and that sort of stuff, and just get moving again. Done 20,000 steps yesterday. I wouldn't have done 3,000 steps before that. And especially in the last lockdown, I'd be lucky to get 150 steps, you know,
it's the indoors. Steps from your bed to the sofa to watch Netflix, to go back to bed and go to sleep.
Anyone wants a tour of Fat Guy Towers, it's still free. It's literally like a rather large hotel room. A cold one at that too. So I'd actually prefer to be in a hotel room, to be fair. But yeah, so the difference between the two is, for me, astronomical. But what I saw this morning on Instagram worried me a little bit. All these people just instantly thinking, well, that's it then. I'm screwed now. I'm going to put on weight. Why?
But I think the key thing of what you're saying is completely it's mindset. So if you're going to go into it with a negative mindset, now I'm going to put weight on, I've got nothing to do, I'm going to sit around on my butt, I'm not going to burn anything. Whereas I don't want to sit around on my butt. I do want to get out and get some fresh air, or else I'll go nuts. And I do want to train, and I do want to maintain that I eat properly. So just swap out, you know, going to grab a bag of crisps for, you know, a piece of fruit or some vegetable sticks with some hummus or something, you know, just swap out something bad for something good. Or a glass of water. I mean, you yourself, the glass of water trick, right? Because often,
glass of water trick.
Often you are actually thirsty, not hungry. But we will pick up something to eat first, unfortunately.
You naturally do, don't you? Because that's what you think the feeling is. You think you're hungry, but you're not. 9 times out of 10, you will be thirsty first. So try that first. And then obviously that water or whatever you put inside, it's going to fill you up a little bit. So when you do have your meal, you're not going to have this huge meal because you won't be able to.
And the more water you drink, the more you have to pee. So you spend so much time drinking water, peeing it out again, that you're constantly working that way. So you're being active. Your step count's going through the roof.
So viewers, if you've got a house the size of Natasha, then that will be like 12,000 steps just to on sweet
just
toilet.
To the toilet. Yeah.
I can probably throw a cat and make it land in the toilet from where I am. So but that's what the difference in world. We've hit on it a few times through this one already. It is this whole thing we're doing, the podcast we're doing, is all about mindset. And if you haven't got the right mindset to lose weight, you're not going to lose weight, I think. No. Or you will, but you won't lose it for good.
And you want to keep it off. So in order to keep it off, you need to change the mindset for good.
If you don't change that first, you're on a losing streak straight away. So I had a visit to the doctors yesterday, and instead of walking there, getting the bus there, I walked there. A massive difference to me straight away. My blood pressure has been really, really high, and it was very high through lockdown because of the stress levels and all that sort of stuff as well, and the bad eating habits and that as well. So knowing that I was going into another lockdown, they wanted to get me just looked at and that sort of stuff as well, and just to make sure I'm on the right medications going in. Not only did my blood pressure record 128/88, which before it was 174/121, something stupidly massively high, but everything else is tickety-boo. And they're now even saying that I may not even need to have the surgery because my lifestyle's changed so much. Exactly. It's changed so much in 2 to 3 months that it's the weight's coming off properly. And it's showing in my blood pressure. It's showing in my blood they've taken. And that's all because I've taken the negatives from the first lockdown and thrown them out the door. There's no negativity this time round. Of course, I'll have my down days. We all will have.
Everyone has down days. It's normal.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's the human psyche. You'll have down days. There might be people out there that are affected by the seasons and stuff. So when it comes to darker day or whatever, they might be affected by that. But over here, I believe in long range forecasts and weathers, and I've looked and it's pretty settled. It's beautiful out there. So why it's like that? If you've got time in your hand to do stuff, don't go to the fridge. Go outside for a walk. That's my biggest message to anyone. Go outside.
I think during lockdown, everybody just go. Today, I'm going to go for a morning walk. I'm going to say morning walks are brilliant because not only do they raise metabolism, but they also get you set for a positive attitude for the rest of the day.
So me and Lindsay had this discussion the other day. She said because she's not fully on board with the way my brain's working this time round, she said that maybe if I'd started my walk at 7 in the morning and finished by 9 today, then I then think, oh, what have I got for the rest of the day? At the moment, there would be nothing for the rest of the day, but she's not seeing the full way my brain's now working. When I finished that thing, I'd come in, maybe have a bit of breakfast. I'm not a massive breakfast fan anyway, but I'd come in and then I'd do the routine things I do indoors, and then you've got other stuff to think about doing and next time round. So it's not the same as the first time round at all. So
I can get for you, being unemployed now that you lost your job as well, actually, with the first corona wave.
Exactly.
That's another downer that didn't help you.
Yeah.
So this time around, you're going in without the job again, but we've now, for example, we've set up this podcast, right? So we have that to work on. You've got your fitness and your food to think about, to work on. You've got a flat to keep clean, and sure, you can sit down and watch some Netflix in between because who cares? You've already done 2 hours of walking in the morning.
Exactly. Yeah. You've already done the bit that you think is that's the best bit of my day, walking.
Yeah.
Just be all and end all. But because I've got healthier and fitter and lighter, I could probably do a 2-hour walk in the morning and still go for one at 3 o'clock in the afternoon still. Like an hour walk in the afternoon. And that way you've gone from 20,000 steps per day to maybe 30,000 steps. And it's doable. I wouldn't even think about doing 30,000 steps before. And it was just dumb. And as we touched on in the last episode, that I could, when I finish now, I can still run up the stairs. And that never happened, did it? So
I think that's brilliant.
Lockdown, we're not saying obviously you can't be down about lockdown because it's going to affect businesses, jobs, that sort of stuff as well. But try and embrace the time you've got and use the time better than just getting up to order a pizza or whatever, or going to the fridge to get something from the fridge. You've got time to cook up a storm again. Please don't send me any pictures of banana cakes this time or banana bread.
Me?
No, people of Instagram.
Right.
It's all over Instagram. Oh, I've made banana bread.
People went crazy baking, didn't they?
Yeah,
because
that's the thing.
They didn't have anything else to do, so they started baking.
Yeah, making their own bread is very good, and there's other stuff you can make that's better for you. The cake you made the other day, completely vegan, and that looks stunning as well. So there's other things you can get on with. Me personally, I'm going to think about this time round, this 4 weeks, starting to cook food from scratch again. And because I thought about joining a class after lockdown and all that. What's the point of spending that money when you've got YouTube? You've got YouTube, you can have a tutorial straight away in your face, and then you can just carry on as you go, pause it when you need to, and I can learn how to cook different foods for me. Foods that help me have more energy for the next walk, or obviously later on next year, I'm thinking about doing bigger and better walks. We'll talk about that in another podcast. So it'd be the ways to look at how food helps training, that sort of stuff as well. So I'm going to use the 4 weeks much to my benefit as possible. So I think you can even tell in my demeanor how different I am as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think one of, like you said about just kind of accepting that, you know, we're going into this lockdown. There's a lot to take in from just surrendering to what is happening. It's out of our control.
Totally.
We can't do anything about it. So you sitting at home cursing the politicians or whatever, it doesn't change the fact that it's still there. And what you need to do is just surrender to that and say, and then flip it and say, okay, well, now I can only go out for 1 hour every day. What do I want to do with the rest of my time? For me, I've signed up because I know that we're obviously going into another period of where the corona is going back up again. We're not on lockdown, but we're obviously keep getting updated with more restrictions. So we're almost waiting for it to be another lockdown. But so far we're being good enough to not hit that danger zone. But I signed up for an online yoga diploma. So I kind of look at it and say, well, okay, if I've got to be home a lot and I don't have a lot of work to do with my photography right now, what else can I do? What projects can I do? What can I learn? What new skills could I add to my arsenal? Learn an instrument, you know, learn a new something fitness, try some HIIT, try some bars, try some yoga. You know, it's all stuff you can do in your house, and there's no excuse for it.
There's no excuse. No one can see you. No one can do anything.
20 minutes of HIIT every day will change your life, because it's 20 minutes, but you're going to be knackered, you're going to sweat a lot, and you're going to really feel, and it's the chemicals that it releases in your body for doing
endorphins and all of that sort of stuff as well. And
it's all about keeping those serotonin levels
serotonin.
Up. Hey,
jinx.
Serotonin. But I think if we can just try to stay positive, try to be kind to one another, because there's a lot of negative energy going on right now with American election, corona, you know, people are getting...
I've not really heard much about it, really.
What, American election?
American election. It's not like it's on every news channel in the UK at all. But yeah, it's like we're part of the USA, but we're not. Yeah.
But I think to summarize, I think it's mindset. That's the biggest thing to take away from this. So
mindset.
Just tell yourself and keep yourself on that barrier, but don't beat yourself up as well at the same time. If you do go, oh, I just really want to eat that chocolate bar that's in my cupboard right now. First of all, to really avoid eating chocolate bars in your cupboard, it's best to just not buy them. But if they are in the cupboard, and you do want to eat it, then eat it. Don't beat yourself up. But then go for an hour walk after. Have your chocolate bar, then go for a walk, and I promise you, those calories you burn on that walk is going to make you feel a lot better about eating that chocolate bar.
You'll have fresh air in your lungs. You'll have a chance to just reflect on the day, and the chocolate bar just disappears. So,
so mindset going into lockdown number 2. You've fixed yourself, that's for sure. Positivity. And if somebody goes, but it's really shit in my life and I can't be positive all the time, you're right, you can't be positive all the time. That's part of a human emotion. But what you can do is not be your emotions all the time. So let yourself feel it, but don't stay in that. You know, do the walk, get outside, change your scene,
move on,
do something to activate your body, do something to activate your mind. Stay focused, and we're all going to get through it. And we're here for everybody. Me and you,
we're here all the time. with different topics every time. But obviously, if you want to ever send us any information, any questions over to us, anything you want to ask us about anything, yes, we have this new Facebook group. Natasha can we'll put some links on the screen anyway at a later date. And then you can come and hit us up. Not in the middle of the night, please, because it just wakes me up, and then I'll be in a foul mood, and then I'll have to go and eat some yogurts or something. But yeah, hit us up, see what you think. Tell us what you think.
Facebook group is Fat Brain Thin Brain. It's pretty simple.
That's the one.
We'll put some links so you guys can find us. As we grow, there will be more channels to get involved. Which will
exciting, isn't it? It's exciting.
Yeah, we want to be supportive for people and be able to lift people when they're feeling down, because essentially that's what I've been doing for you, right? When you're down, I try to lift you a little bit.
Oh, she's lovely.
Because I can't beat you from this end, you know.
No, it's
I
a bit
give you a virtual slap.
You'd have to have really long arms, wouldn't you? So
into the screen.
Yeah, exactly. We've connected, and she's keeping me on the straight and narrow, and I'm keeping her in nothing really. Just giving her a bit of time.
It's a one-way relationship.
It's completely. It's all about me, as she said in the intro. It is all about me. So that's why I've got the tiniest head, and it's all about me. So yeah, we're gonna see you in the next episode, and that is gonna be even better.
We're not gonna tell anyone what the next episode is.
No, it's gonna be a surprise.
Should we let a little bit? Let's do a little teaser. What could the next episode be about? Oh, it's something about when. It's something about. I don't know how to give a teaser without giving it away. I'm not good at this. Right, it's about your blooming upbringing. All right.
It's about our history with food, isn't it, Natasha?
And with everything, upbringing, and how that affects us.
In that way again. So, arrivederci from the UK.
Yeah, and arrivederci from Denmark. Or if you want it in Danish, it's farvel.
Farvel.